So I'm very fortunate. I've been wanting for a long time to get this gentleman on, and this gentleman spent many years out in the Bay Area. He currently lives in Las Vegas. Him and his wife are just two of the absolute most rock-solid leaders we have in all of World Ventures. In fact, this gentleman is on our President's Advisory Council, called a PAC team, meaning he's in the room that makes all of the big decisions for World Ventures moving forward. So he has a very unique perspective of understanding where he knows where we are as a company, and is also part of the absolute elite top of the top people in World Ventures, helping take us and guide us continuing to the next level. He's a $1 million earner, international marketing director, obviously, one of the best trainers we have, and truly one of the most down-to-earth, genuine people you're ever going to meet. This is someone that doesn't just do something out of hype. He doesn't just do it, hoping to make a quick buck and figure out the next thing. This is someone that builds with integrity. He's an amazing Christian leader. He's also a pastor in his spare time. Just I could go on and on. Amazing father, husband. We are very, very fortunate, not only on this call, but in World Ventures as a whole, to have a leader none other than Mr. IMD, Tere Kampe. Tere, are you there, brother?
What is going on, my brother?
Hey, we can hear you loud and clear, Tere. I appreciate you jumping on. We've got hundreds and hundreds of people listening in right now. A whole bunch going to get this recording as well. Take it away, my friend.
Well, thanks so much, David, for having me on. You guys, a lot of you guys are on David's team, and I need to brag on him for a minute. And I've watched this guy come in, grow fast, had to go through a bunch of challenges. We had some things happen 3 years ago, and I know some of the things that he's had to walk through, and rebuilt, and his attitude never changed. Just externally, just a great example of what a consistent attitude looks like. And I know that things are really rocking on your team. Congratulations on all the new marketing directors, all the new growth, man. It's just been awesome to watch, and I'm looking forward to a post coming. I'm hoping it's coming really soon about Mr. David Helgeson. So thanks for having me on, man. Been a great time here in World Ventures so far.
Well, I appreciate that, Tere. And so for those that maybe don't know, would you mind kind of giving a little bit of your background? Again, you've been a successful entrepreneur for a long time. Why World Ventures? What's kind of happened along that journey, and kind of where do you see us as going as we kick this call off?
So for those of you who don't know, I've been around network marketing now for 48 years. And I know, I look good for 70. I know it's a real thing, but when I was a young kid, my parents jumped into Amway, and I watched them do that, swore I'd never do it. For 20 years, I swore I'd never do it. And because I watched what they did, I saw how hard they worked, and I was just like, I am not doing that. And a lot of it was because I just didn't want to, quote unquote, sell products. Back in the day, that's what it was. So long story short, 20 years goes by, they get connected with a guy named Dexter Yeager, who is the #1 income earner in all of network marketing for all time, all companies. There's not even a close second. He's the guy. $500 million that guy's made. And so they got connected to him, and he had a different philosophy. I'm like, man, I like that. So I'm like, I'm in. And I was psychotic, you guys. I'm not kidding. Psychotic about that deal. I was going to go, my life was going to get different. I had high hopes. And 6 years, man, 6 years, no days off, not one, no days off. I kept working my job and everything, not one day off. 6 years in, no days off. I had 50 people on my team 6 years in. And I had made zero money. It was not good. My most successful month ever was like hitting senior rep here one time in 6 years. It was rugged. My Bible says hope deferred makes the heart sick, and my heart was really sick. And because I saw this life that I wanted, and I didn't even get close, you guys, not even close. Mary and I were fighting. It was just, we almost divorced after that, because I'm like, it's your fault. Shit, your fault. And man, we were just giving it to each other, and it was not good. So that was 6 years. We had about 10 years of giving it real crap after that, just because it was, yeah. So 12 years after I got done when I quit, did forget that this doesn't work, or I suck at it, one of the two. I get a phone call about World Ventures from a good friend of mine who was my pastor. He wants me to take a look at something. I'm like, dude, come on, let me get you out of this thing because someone has lied to you. And so I spent about 30 days trying to get him out, and I realized, hey, this is a pretty good deal. And so I jumped in. Mary wanted nothing to do with it. So those of you who are married, Mary wanted zero to do with this. She's like, don't even talk to me, criminal. I want to hear nothing about this, because of what our past told us about our ability to do it. So our self-limiting beliefs, right? They're things that hold us back. And her belief was that this was going to be what that was. Even though they were completely separate, it didn't matter. That was her belief. That was her come from. So, but she respected me enough and said, hey man, if you want to do it, it's your thing, you do it. Okay, cool. And I did. Now listen, those of you who have spouses, I did. And I never asked her to do anything. I did what I said I was going to do. And I just kept doing it. It wasn't until about 3 years in before Mary started, kind of getting involved. And we hit RMD 3 years in. And as some of you may or may not know, just before we hit RMD, I picked up the phone to quit. I was out, man. I was, again, my self-limiting belief was that RMD was for the successful people. And I'm looking back at my past experience, what's happened with my parents and all this stuff. And I believed that my family, we were the people who worked really hard to help the successful people become successful. But we were not the successful people. And because of that, I set my goal for marketing director, because I could believe I could be a marketing director. I could not believe for RMD. So as time went on, I'm 2.5 years in, man, and things are cruising along. We're MD and everything. And then my business starts backing up. Some leaders are fighting. There's some stuff going on, and I'm not handling it well as a leader, as I realized. And I just, like, in my mind, here come all the negative thoughts. And some of you guys might have heard me say it. You know, it was my past talking to my present about my future. And there was just this, I'm getting to my lid. I'm getting to my lid. And my lid is, you're not going to be that successful, Terry. This is not where you belong. This is where other people belong, but not you. And so I just had all these voices telling me wrong things. And I'm just like, I'm out. I'm done. This isn't going to work. I knew it wasn't going to work. And so for me, I had to spend 2 weeks praying and fasting and really asking God for, truly asking God for help. And I began to realize the issue was my leadership, or my lack of leadership, that was the problem. And through that, I resolved to go deal with some of these issues on my team, started to lead differently, and got the ship righted a little bit. And then 6 months after that, hit RMD, and Mary started coming along, and so it was gooder after that. But a lot of mental, a lot of things to overcome from my past that I did not know were there. And so many of us, we make our decisions. Everybody makes decisions every day of our lives. We make our decisions based on how we see ourselves. You heard it as a self-image. Listen, it's how you imagine yourself. That's what a self-image is. It's my imagination of me, a self-image. So if I imagine myself as a person who makes $30,000 a year, or $100,000 a year, or $500,000, it doesn't matter. You are going to operate in a manner that fulfills the imagination you have of yourself. So this is the biggest issue about people hitting new ranks. And so one thing, and I'll take a breath here, one thing you must come to realize, if you don't ever get to this belief right here, this is going to stay hard. And it's the belief that you belong at the next rank, or whatever rank you want. It's the belief that you belong there, that more success for you is okay. And it's you that has to give yourself permission to step in to the next level.
Well, there's so much good stuff to unpack from that, Terry. Like, so first of all, I think a lot, as I'm listening to that, I think a lot of people can relate in the regards of, even before what you did, starting in network marketing, and didn't get off to the fastest start. A lot of really good lessons in all of that. But one, I think like if you ever talk to a friend that says something negative, like, oh, they're one of those pyramids. Oh, I'll take a look as long as it's not network marketing. Like they have these like negative ideas about it. It's because they either had a personal experience, or they watched somebody close to them have a personal experience.
Bingo.
So that negativity is what they're saying. Like, because I can think back to my own story. I haven't thought about this in a while until you said that, Terry. Like, my mom used to do like clothing companies and makeup companies. I say do. love my mom very, very much. The most caring, loving person you're ever going to meet. Not a network marketing tycoon entrepreneur business owner.
Yep.
Politely that way. So like, I never thought of anybody making any money in network marketing. Like I went to school to be a chiropractor. I'm thinking that's how I'm gonna make money. And it was until I actually met someone that was having success that my entire opinion of network marketing changed, because I was seeing someone treat it like a real business, not like this little below them hobby kind of thing. I saw people who I thought of as successful, taking this serious, and that kind of changed my whole mindset with it. But you got to remember that too. So like, if you hear somebody say something negative, there's some sort of story behind it. And again, consistency also matters too. Like, so Terry gave it everything he had for 6 years. Okay, so that's one thing where we relook and go, okay, 6 years, I feel like I have zero traction, zero money. Maybe I need to rethink of what I'm doing. That'd be just like starting chiropractic school, Terry. It's a 3.5-year program. If you're 6 years in and you still haven't been able to finish it because you keep flunking out of classes, maybe you're not going to make it to the end anymore. Maybe now we think about it. But it's so funny. People in school, 1 week in, 1 semester in, they just drop out and quit. Or, there's people that join our business all the time, and they overestimate what they're going to do those first couple days, and they underestimate what they can do over several years. And what a great example of that, you have to give it enough time to go. Like, it normally takes years for a traditional business to even get to a profit. We're all in a really unique area with the business. We all start with World Ventures. You can go and get into a profit hours later, days later, weeks later. And, so comparatively speaking, one step back from that, make sure you give it enough consistency to go through. But I mean, man, there's some gold you dropped as far as, really think about, do you see yourself where you're going? Because I can relate to that all up and down, what we've done with this for 9 years. One of my favorite things about trainings like this, and really, for those of you who've never been to one of our live big events, like when you come to that, you're going to realize the people that are winning at a high level, they're not crazily different than you.
Right.
Like Terry has a better tan, he's got bigger biceps than me, but he's not that much better than me, just like I'm no better than him. But like, you just have to understand, you can belong with, look at the next rank that you're at. I love that. Like, you have to be able to see yourself being able to belong. And if you don't, keep working on yourself. Because I know with Crystal and I, Terry, the times that things felt like a struggle were the times we had taken our foot off the gas of working on us as a leader. Like, you talked about, I'm sure there's a lot of good stuff even more in there of like, you got to marketing director, and that was as far as you could see yourself go. You had to raise yourself as a leader to get to R&D, yet alone IMD, $1 million earner. I mean, just so many amazing things that you've continued to do now. But I would venture to guess that's because you continue to work on yourself. So many people, they stop, right there, especially with a little success. Mark Cassetta had just posted a quote about how fast success breeds ego, but slow success builds character. Now, I wouldn't encourage everyone to go slow. There's a lot of people on this call going really fast, but also remember that, like, as soon as you forget where you came from, you're on your way right back there. And, I'm speaking from experience. In the second you stop working on yourself, your business isn't going to continue growing. It's going to be at the level that you're continuing to grow as a leader. And again, you can't, as soon as you take a step off of that, that's where a lot of it's going to be. So some of you guys need to obviously go work harder and show more people, but some people need to just increase their working on themselves. And that, alone, it sounds like that was one of the things that helped you break through too.
Yeah, 100%. Because as I look back at that 6 years of what looked like failure, as I was just asking God for wisdom, what happened is I was able to reframe it as preparation. And that made all the difference. Because without those 6 years, I would not have had the success we had here. So, I love, Don Morton was asked the question one time about how long did it take to become an IMD, and his answer was like 20, 25 years, because it was his total time in network marketing and the growth and all the books and the seminars, all the stuff that goes into it. It's not just, you don't just show up. I mean, think about it for a minute, you guys. Think about this. How many people in your life, like how many people, for real, think about this, lead right now, outside of network marketing, outside of World Ventures, how many people that that lead 100 people? They are a leader of at least 100 people. And I'll bet you that the answer, let's just take a big number, is less than 10. Less than 10 for sure. That lead 100 people. They could be at a company, and they got an organization they manage, or, whatever, lead, a pastor, things like that. So you might know these people. I'll bet you it's less than 10. Now, having 100 people on your team here, heck, you haven't even hit director yet. All right. Now, how about 1,000 people? How many people do you know that lead outside 1,000 people? And I'll bet you the answer is less than 3 for most of you. Now, here's why I'm asking that question. You come into this, you want to be an RMD. You got to lead at least 1,000 people. And most people have no idea how to lead 1,000 people because they're not doing it in their life. So you just got to understand, everybody, to David's point, we all need to grow. The question is, are you going to choose to grow? Or are you just going to think you know how to get there and it's just going to happen? And when it gets hard, you're out. Now, here's the problem. Most people don't know how to count the cost. You have no idea. Before we got in, we had no idea what it was going to take to be successful. Like none. A lot of people are like, oh, everybody's going to do this, and I'm just going to be, and in 5 months I'll be, or whatever. And you have no idea about what leadership looks like and all the different things, the integrity, the commitment, the passion, the caring, and all the stuff that goes into leading people. And the problem is we don't make real strong decisions getting in. And this was your point about what most people have seen, David, and people who do network marketing, they see exactly what you're talking about. They were excited. They wanted people, they saw something, but they weren't convicted. They weren't convicted about it. So they went to tell their friends beat them down, and then they, with their tail between their legs, they walked away. And the people, when they think about network marketing, they don't want to be that person. But when they see what success looks like, oh snap, everybody wants that. And so people come in and they don't really grasp what it's going to take. So the problem is we don't make real decisions. And people tend to redecide daily based on changing circumstances, whether they're going to continue or not. This is a bad plan for success. No one's going to follow that, because if you're in and out on your own decision making, don't expect people to follow you. So you've got to get your, I call it, you got to find your voice here. You got to find your voice. So you jump in, and as you were talking, David, about the memberships, I just put a note down. You don't need to know everything to get started. You don't. I mean, heck, a lot of your people on your team, they might not even know there are 4 memberships. Whatever, they're in and they're moving. Great. Now we can make some adjustments as we move, but if you sit and do nothing, there's nothing to do. I mean, a body at rest tends to stay at rest. We got to get in motion. So too many people, though, because they don't make right decisions, they can't see what they need to do. They're trying to figure it out on the way, and some have a big enough picture and a big enough hunger that they're willing to go through it. Many just kind of go back to their old life. And I liken it to the Israelites coming out of Egypt, right? I mean, they're in slavery 400 years, man. 400 years, they're slaves. That's what they know. That's all they know, that generation. That's all they know. They were slaves, and it sucked. So they're going to get out of Egypt. Yeah, woohoo! They get out to the desert. They're like 3 days in. Oh, my God, they brought us out here to die. Let's go back. Why did they want to go back? Because while it was uncomfortable, it was known. It was something they knew what it was. The unknown, they didn't obviously know. And it's the same thing here, man. People get off on this entrepreneurial journey, and if they're an employee and have an employee mindset, it gets scary. They're like, oh man, I'm going to go back to my comfort zone of working and getting paid. Now, today, because of COVID and all the stuff that's happened in our world, we have a completely different situation. The landscape is a different animal altogether. So I think we have great opportunity right now.
I have never heard somebody put it that way. That is so good. Like, because I've tried to figure. I have never done anything like this before. The vast majority of the hundreds and hundreds of people on this call never have done anything like this before. Never owned a business. Never done network marketing. Absolutely clueless when it comes to leadership for the most part on a business standpoint. And I've always tried to wrap my head like, why is it so hard for why is this price so hard? It's right there. Just think in normal life. What would it take for you to be a leader outside of World Ventures to be able to lead 100 people or 1,000 people? or wrap your head around 10,000 people. And then think of the people in your phone that have the ability right now where they're at to do those things. Don't get that twisted though with those same people in your phone who could and would have the ability if they worked on themselves over the next year, 5 years, 10 years. So like that excites me too, because like we so often like get, we think in our head, like, who would be good at this? Oh, Susie loves to travel. She'll do it for sure. Ooh, Bob knows everybody. It's like, yeah, that's cool. Bob knows everybody, but nobody knew Bob. And you thought Bob was way sharper than Bob actually was. And then, you're sitting there with a tummy ache because Bob couldn't get anybody to sign up, and you thought that was your guy who was going to make you rich. And it's like, but Bob, if he would have worked on himself and continued to, just because nobody knows Bob now, even though he bragged how everybody knew him, doesn't mean a whole bunch of people wouldn't follow Bob a couple months from now, a couple of years from now. So you just have to work through that. But yeah, again, guys, Terry talks about your voice. Again, it's posture, it's passion. It's people follow certainty. They follow people that know where they're going. I'm reading a book right now, Terry, about the founder of Nike, Phil Knight, and from where he started a company and as it transitioned into what Nike is now today. And there was a pivotal point, without ruining the whole book, where there's some really crazy stuff happening, to him and his company. They weren't even sure if it was going to make it. And, he looked around the room and everybody was like just completely deflated. He had like 30 employees at that time, and everyone just looked deflated, and he was deflated walking into it. But he looked around, someone else, he's like, well, we can't both be deflated at the same time. He goes, we got him right where we want him. And like, he, just painted that vision of certainty. And I haven't finished the book, but I venture to guess, like, we all kind of know how the thing works out for him. It ended up being pretty good. But it's like, people follow people that know where they're going. They follow certainty. They follow leadership. And it is so funny. I get on calls every week of, yeah, I'm just going to go get my 4 lined up and then I'm going to get started. It's like, I almost giggle right at them. Like, you are so far behind the 8 ball. It is going to take me so much longer to get you mentally to be the person it's going to take to get others to follow you. You're so worried that you can't even get 4 people to follow you. How are you going to go eventually lead, hundreds or thousands of people?
Got it, man.
And again, now that person isn't a bad person. It just means they need to work on themselves. But it's also funny, like, I think of the very first people, Terry, that told me no. I wouldn't trade places with 99.999% of those people right now. And like, just take that the same way. Whether it's the person that tells you no, whether it's the person that joins and then doesn't follow through with what they said they were going to do, or the person that, never got started that you wished would have got started. Like, really watch. You keep working on yourself. And you watch 5 years from now what that's going to look like. Because Terry hit it around the head. You talk about the unknown versus the known. Like, I was talking to one of my marketing directors, HD, about this, Terry, where we kind of, and jokingly, like, during the quarantine, you built a team to 2K, 1,000 left, 1,000 right. But a lot of your friends are just sitting there playing 2,000 games of NBA 2K. So you can sit there and do the known, keep playing 2K, or you go build an unknown business up to 2,000 members. Again, which one's easier? It's a lot easier just to sit in front of them and do what you're used to doing. I think back always to the phrase Matt Morris had said at a training event years ago, like, if you're the kind of person that's not going to get uncomfortable to go change, the financial future for your family, like, I'm not going to, instead of taking the spare time to do that, which all of us through COVID, the vast majority of us had way more free time than we've ever had before. If you're not going to be the person to stay consistent and do something to change the direction for your family's future in a positive way, and instead of taking the time to do that productively, you're just going to sit, and watch TV or do whatever else. Like Matt Moore said, I'm not going to call you a loser, but my friend, you're not a winner. And like, that just resonates. Again, are you going to do the known or are you going to do the unknown? Are you going to, just stay with what's comfortable now? Because doing the comfortable things now will keep you uncomfortable for years to come. Getting uncomfortable right now can get you set up a lot more comfortable in the months and years ahead. And that's just some of the stuff I'm thinking as you're going through that.
You bet, man. You bet. Look, here's the deal. At the end of the day, you guys, you're going to pay a price one way or another. We all are. Every one of us. You are either going to choose to do something different today and pay a price today for a different future, or you're going to continue to do the same thing, and the price you're going to pay is not having that future. You're going to get exactly what you've got today. Either way, there is a price. You're either going to get uncomfortable today and do some more things to get it, or you're going to keep doing what you're going to do and not get it. And I just, with the lockdown, with COVID and all the uncertainty that's out there, you guys. When that all happened, the beautiful part of our world was we just pivoted real quick and did everything online. Whatever. You don't lead with travel during the lockdown. Great. You lead with what? Making money. Let's go make money, because you know what? With 40 million people that were on unemployment, I know it's come down now, but a lot of businesses, I just heard last night, Yelp, 40% of businesses on Yelp, 40% are done. They're not coming back. 40%. Now you got the owners and you've got the employees that are all impacted by that. So we got this whole, it's a whole new world. You know, it's like, it's a new world we got right now. And so for me, I'll just kind of where we're headed. For me, I'm a dinosaur in this industry. Okay. I want to do it a certain way. I know this. I know, pick up the phone, send a text, connect with somebody over coffee. You can ask anybody on my team, man. I preached, get coffee. I just want to get together for coffee. Why? I want to look somebody in the eye. To your point, David, I want them to feel my certainty. Somebody says, oh, I already saw that thing. And I'll say, hey man, you haven't seen World Ventures until you've seen it from me. And I believe that. Now here's another come from, side note. I know on my own team, I have people that are better presenters than me. They got more energy, they do it. But my come from is I am the best presenter in the world. There is nobody better than me at this. Now, it doesn't matter what the fact is, it's my belief around where I'm coming from that matters. So, and don't think it's because I'm an IMD. No. I thought that when I was a qualified rep and I was really the only guy in San Jose doing this, that was my come from. I'm the best. And so it's just, it's a belief system. Now, where we're going in our society, with everything in me, you guys, remember, I've been around this almost 50 years. I've been watching people in, out. They come in with big dreams. They go out the second day. And I mean, I just watched tens of thousands of people come in and not do it. Thousands of people come in and do it. With everything in me, I want to be able to do this the same way in the future. I want to do it the way I've been doing it the whole time I've been doing it. But what I want is completely irrelevant. We have a new world, you guys. It is a new world. And those who are going to win big here are the ones that choose to change, to adapt to the new situation that we have right now. And we can get a lot more done just like this on Zoom if you will embrace it. You know, some people are going to use social media to their great advantage. Some are not. If we're keeping it really real, I mean, I've been saying it, you know, I don't have the Instagram body I used to have. So I'm not in a lot of my pictures, you know, and but that doesn't mean I can't use social media to my advantage if I learn how to use it to my advantage. We have some things that we're about to roll out. We are really excited about what's about to happen, you guys. And I am not a hypey guy. I'm not. I'm just saying there are some things that God has lined up for us. And I mean that with everything in me. I'm a pastor. I don't just say that flippantly. I'm saying that there were things that were not even on the radar a month ago that is going to transform what we can do, how we can do it all over the world. It is stupid good. An answer to prayer without question. There are some things we're doing, and just think, you know, the ability to be able to get people to a landing page as an example for just silver member only, or just gold or platinum or titanium only. That's all it is. So think from a social media or a virality standpoint. That's the deal when it gets viral. But I can, as a member, here's a quick example. I had a guy jump in about 3 weeks ago. I put him in, and 1 hour later, it was Saturday morning. 1 hour later, he called me and he's like, "Hey man, I just booked a hotel on this booking engine. I'm saving $150. Is that right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, that's what's up. That's what I told you." He goes, "But wait a minute, are you saying this and that?" I said, Yeah. So so now he doesn't know jack about the rest of the thing. He just knows he got on and he saved some money. So today, right now, he's in Sedona. He might be on here. I don't know. He's in Sedona right now, and he tells me, the guy hasn't done anything, okay? But he sends me a text. I'm going on a World Ventures trip. He's like, World Ventures trip? But what it was is he booked a hotel and he said, I got a killer deal in Sedona. Now here's what's going on. That guy has some connections, pretty well connected guy. All he knows right now is that he went on and it did what we said it was going to do. He saved money. He's now got conviction. And if he was able to go hit a share button or get friends to a link that said, hey man, go here, save yourself a bunch of money when you sign up. And it's just boom. And let's just say you're in as a silver member. And all of a sudden you're in 2 minutes in, but then the new member only who doesn't know jack other than they see that they can save money, they're going to tell their friends about it because they want their friends to save money. Man, you start to see the virality of that. It's what we've been hoping for 3 years now, what we've been talking about for 4. And it's right there, you guys. It is right there. So we got this coming, and it's going to make it go way faster because our onboarding is going to be a whole lot more streamlined. And because of that, we are going to attract a different level of person from a social media standpoint. I'll just say it that way. So great stuff coming.
And I know you're kind of sworn to secrecy. I appreciate we kind of feel like we're in one of those PAC team meetings for 30 seconds. Here's what I'm hearing. Like I love this about our company, and I would continue to echo what I think is what you're saying as well. Is everyone just really step back. To go fast, simplify. Like when you simplify, that's where you can go and multiply. If you want to build by addition, keep it complicated, keep it long, keep it drawn out. If you want to go fast, if you want things to go and move away from you, you need to do things simpler. So when you invite people, say less to more people. When you present shorter to more people. Yes. When you close, answer questions in less detail to create less confusion, which will lead to faster growth. And again, as a company, that's what I love about us. I've heard people compare us to Apple many times in the regards of we're always trying to get better. You're never going to see World Ventures be that complacent dinosaur company in the regards of this is how we do it and we're never going to change. And even if that was true for some periods of time, like I love that they're always looking from a corporate standpoint to get better. They're not looking, how can I, shove more dollars just in my pocket? They're always looking, how can we continue to make things better, simpler, faster, stronger, and they always have the long-term vision of us with that. And that's what I absolutely love with this company is they're always thinking years and years down the road, not just days down the road. And I would encourage all of us on here to do that. Like a lot, maybe that's where we can kind of go as we're closing up here. I can't believe how fast this time's been going. But there's a lot of people on here. They've been having a lot of success. A lot of people going very quickly. I'd love to talk to that because you went from launching a market and really even launching a state that really even launching a coast of a state that hadn't had much going on, that has turned into just some powerhouse icons within World Ventures. From your time starting something to continue advancing it and just the massive growth that took, like, what would you say to people that are out there doing that themselves? They're starting their own markets right now. They're senior reps, 60/60s, directors, moving into marketing directors, making things happen in their own right. But now as that leader is picturing growing to the next level, seeing themselves belong as an RMD, seeing themselves truly capable of hitting IMD, like what would you speak to that leader in their days and weeks ahead right now as we get into that second part of 2020?
Yep. So you're never going to outgrow your mindset. Okay. You must grow your mindset. You're not going to outwork it. And what I mean by that is, back to that whole thing about if you believe that you're that person, let's just talk about a financial thermostat. Okay. If you're that person who believes that $50,000 is where you belong, that's a big bunch of money for you, you're going to ensure that you don't get past 50,000, or you're going to be right in that range. So you got to grow your mindset. You got to understand what it takes to get to the higher levels, why it's okay for you to make money. Quick example of that. You may have heard this when you were growing up, right? Money is the root of all evil. You may have heard that growing up. Now that's a lie. That's not true, because the verse goes, the love of money is a root of all evil. But you heard it as money is the root of all evil. So if I make money, if God doesn't like for us to make money, if that's evil, I need to not make more of it. You see my point? I'm just saying, if that's your belief system, your core belief, You are going to ensure you don't get past where you think it's okay to be successful. So I'm just saying there are things that you need to change about your mindset. And that's just one example. There's thousands of them, to be honest with you. So grow you, okay? If you want to attract stronger leaders, you have to be a stronger leader. If there's a scale of 1 to 10 and you're a level 5 leader, okay, great. What you're going to do though is go out and talk to 5s and 4s and bring them in. Most of the time, 7s and 8s won't follow a 5. Now, in our world, the beautiful part is you can get them to somebody upline who is an 8 and they will follow, but you got to utilize that to your advantage. So if I, though I'm a 5 and I go to an event, watch a training online, I get some audio, whatever, I might go to a 5.0001 if I take the information and apply it. Okay, taking in information is one thing. If you don't apply it, it's just information. So just understand that you got to continue to grow yourself. If you want bigger and bigger teams, you've got to grow yourself. Back to the example of the people leading 1,000 people. Think about a CEO, and let's just talk about RMD. I know 1,000 people. Keeping it real, you're going to have more than 1,000 people on your team when you hit RMD. But let's just talk about 1,000 people. If I'm the CEO of a company that has an employee base of 1,000 people, now think about how much that CEO makes. I'll bet you it's $500,000 to $1 million plus stock options and everything else. Easy. And think about what was required for that person to get to the CEO level of a 1,000 employee company. The education, the work experience, all the different things, climbing up the ladder, doing all those things. Now you're leading an organization of people you can hire and fire. Okay? So people kind of have to do what you say. Here, you have an organization of 1,000 people. You can't hire and fire. We can only inspire. And so think about what it takes now for you to grow to be that person that 1,000 people are going to willingly follow. And then to David's point, multiply that by 10 to get to 10,000 people. I mean, you start to see it's about us. Show and grow, show and grow. Show the deal, grow yourself. Show the deal, grow yourself. Show the deal, grow yourself. And stay ahead of where you are today, because every time, check it, when your teams plateau, if they plateau, it's because your team has reached the maximum number of people that your leaders can effectively lead. Their quality, the commitment, and the quantity of leaders that you have will be able to allow you to sustain at 200 people or 500 or 1,000. So if you want to get a bigger team, you have to do one of two things. You either have to grow those leaders, or you have to go get more leaders to lead more people. So those two things right there. And by the way, I got this on the VIP content for boot camp. If you guys aren't VIP for boot camp, I'm just telling you, man, you're going to get like more talks on VIP than you will for the actual trainings that you're going to be in, because you're going to get the content for every trainer who does a VIP talk. That's more than who's going to be training at any one of the events. So I'm just saying, man, VIP is going to be really epic on that. And so there's some content about how to identify and how to build leaders. And this stuff right here is what's magic in our world. And so I'll take a breath there before we finish up. David, anything else on that?
I've wrote so many of these quotes down. I got to remember. So again, because sometimes that's the best and worst thing about World Ventures. Like I try to tell people when they get started, like, hey, I'm not going to be your boss. I'm not going to micromanage you. But if you want to really make things happen, we'll be there to help you every step of the way. And there's people on my team I wish I could fire, and there's people that you really wish you could have hired into your downline, and they didn't want to. But you don't hire and fire here. The only thing you can do is inspire. And when I think of that, like kind of even to marching orders as we close out here, like for someone that you have something going and you want to put gas in the fire, for someone that you want to continue to get something going, for someone that you're going to relaunch something complete, no matter where you are on this call, your job is to prove to people it works. Yep. So I don't care what happened in the last week. There's people on this call, they went and hit residual income in a week. Happy for you, love you, go do it again now. There's people that made 0 sales all month of June. love you. It's okay. Go do something right now. Like as we leave this weekend and through this weekend, closing out the month of June, launching into the second half of 2020, your job is to inspire people. Inspire the people on your team, inspire the people you're going to show, inspire the people around you. All you can do is lead by example. You know, I tell some of my leaders all the time, Terry, like your job's to prove to your friends that it works. And what are you doing by that? You're inspiring them. So if you can go get 40 personals, they're going to wrap their head around, well, geez, I should be able to get 4. If you can go build a team to 400, they're going to wrap their head around, geez, I should be able to build a team to 40. You know, like it just proved to people that it works. And you go and just, the only way you can do that is you have to grow your leadership yourself. So work on yourself and then work on your business. I mean, it's very simple. You can sit here and do, you know, again, a lot of us are still in quarantine. Do quick 5-10 minute Zoom calls here and there, work it into your normal life, but just stay consistent with it and show people what's possible. Show your friends you're taking it serious. The one that said, well, let me see how you do, and then I'll decide to get started or not. Go prove to them how moronic it was to not catch the vision of where you were going with this. Go and take it so serious that they come back going, hey, I remember that thing. But again, you do that by inspiring others, and you don't need them all. But if you go and lead from the front, you're going to have people come along. You know, there's a gentleman, we call him Moose Takeem Williams, Terry. He hit marketing director in 75 days, started in quarantine, never done anything like this before. And in talking with him, he told me, I have not the slightest clue what I'm actually doing. I don't even know what I'm trying to accomplish right now, but I see you and some other people really running and taking it serious, and I decided I'm going to run with it. And that's the best way I can describe this. Like people ask all the time, like, how do you get momentum? Or how do you keep momentum? You start it. One spark can go and take it. One of you on this call can go and do one Zoom meeting, one coffee shop meeting, one travel, you go talk to one human being, and it can completely change everything because you start it and you don't know what that first domino knocking over is. What I can guarantee you though, is if you just sit on your hands and don't knock any domino over, it's not going to continue to advance anything else. So just remember, so many of you on this call are way closer to what you think. So maybe in your head, maybe this is a great way to kind of take it, and I'll let you close it out, Terry. You talk about people have to believe that so let's say you want to be an R&D, but you can't even fathom how you're going to get to R&D. The distance in your head of where you are now to where you're trying to get to, I would bet for most of you is a lot further up here than it actually is numbers wise, because many of you are one or maybe at most 2 good people away from completely changing your financial future with World Ventures. You don't need hundreds of good people. You don't need thousands of good people. You need a couple good people. Some of you, one good person to completely change the face of your business. So know you got to put the work in to find that one and keep staying strong up here. I think it's been one of the best calls we've done because it really, really gets down to exactly if you're close, you got a lot of you are closer than you realize. And now hopefully you know exactly what you need to do to go and really take yourself to the next level. It's going to be with work, and it's also going to be with working up here.
Yeah, I tell my team all the time, momentum does not begin in your team. Momentum begins in your mind. That's exactly what you're saying. When you got rolling big in February, it was something that changed, maybe not changed, but you had a plan that you were going to go forward with. True or false?
True.
You started putting a bunch of personals in and you got active. And guys, this is exactly what he's saying, man. It is always about us. It's us. It's not your team, my team. No. You're part of your team. And so you can change it, but you got to have a plan. You got to have a date. You got to know what you're going to go do. So what we're doing, David, is, the first half of the year for a lot of people has been, all over the world. So we are taking June 30th. We're going to have a 2020 relaunch virtual party, man. We're relaunching 2020 all over again. It's New Year's Eve. Let's go start the year again. We got a mulligan on the first half, but we're going to start a catalyst. We're going to go do it differently, man. Energy around it, because there are 4 big things that we are working on as a company right now. 4 big things. July is a massively pivotal month, massively pivotal. And if you guys will go out from now until boot camp, I'm promising you, man, just go between now and boot camp, go put a bunch of people in, get them to a virtual boot camp somehow, somewhere, because, we're going to have a big watch party in Vegas. I want to have almost like it's going to be a dream trip in Vegas. that I want a bunch of people together because I know the energy. Okay, leading, I know the energy I want on my team coming out of boot camp. I'm picturing it in my mind already. So now what am I going to do? I'm going to go do the work to make all those things happen, to put those pieces into place so that that day, 1 month from today, I know that we are going to walk out of here with massive energy. August is going to be a complete, we have some great things, and you guys are going to feel it, man. And the rest of this year, almost 10 months ago now, 9 months ago now, God started showing me what he was going to do with World Ventures. And he was showing Byron Schrog at the exact same time, completely separate, different parts of the country. We started talking and realized, wow, wait a minute, something's up here. And we've had to go through some stuff, but we had to go through it to get to the position we have right now today, that all of this is coming to fruition in July. So dang excited about this. All of it's coming to fruition in July. And we're going to roll out of boot camp with massive energy. Like, it's going to be a whole new company, massive energy for those who take advantage of it right now. And I know you hear this a lot, but I'm telling you, there are some things that are really, they're going to change how we go forward. And if you can wait, if you want to, just like David's saying, you can wait, or you can get busy right now. I promise, if you will just put a plan together, I'm going to go sponsor one person a week. You know, if you haven't done anything or whatever, I'm going to show a plan a day or whatever. I teach baby steps, set baby goals you can't possibly miss, because I believe a lot of people set goals and miss goals. And over time, that becomes our identity. I'm the person who sets big goals, but I never hit them. That's who I am. In your mind, that self-imagination thing. So if you will go set baby goals, like I'm going to take a breath today. Woo, I hit my goal. You know, you start to hit these baby goals, but your identity changes. You become, over time, the person who sets and gets your goals. Then when you put bigger goals together, you have a plan that you believe you can work, what the mind of man can conceive and believe it can achieve. You've got to be able to believe it. And that's why setting smaller goals is so great. So set yourself some goals, man. Go out of this today, 4 weeks. What are you going to do between now and boot camp? What are you going to do? And go do that, whether it's big or small goals, I don't care. Some of you guys got massive momentum, great, man. How many more people can we put on the team and get to boot camp before then? Because if I got 500 people watching boot camp around the globe, man, what's going to happen out of that? You know, we get 10% of those people that go put 10 people each, and we're going to double our numbers. So set some small goals, get with your team, make sure your plan that you have in place is a good plan to get whatever rank you want. And I'm telling you, man, the rest of 2020 is going to be epic. So let's go relaunch, people.
Terry, I appreciate you so much, brother. Thank you. Appreciate everyone for jumping on. Mike has asked me to remind everyone, the recording will get posted in a couple of the Facebook groups as well as on my YouTube channel. So appreciate everyone for jumping on. We'll get that out. Terry, you were an absolute pleasure, a monster. Thank you so much. And look forward to seeing you in Vegas in a few weeks as well. Look forward to talking to everybody next week. God bless you.
All right, thanks, bud.